Mortal returns. I thought I recognized that wrinkle in the fabric of fate.
I hoped Laramil would be with you. We have news.
Mortal returns. I thought I recognized that wrinkle in the fabric of fate.
I hoped Laramil would be with you. We have news. Scroot and I uncovered the most interesting news. The Assembly of Masters learned of Master Shelreni's recent activities and has called for a conclave. They plan to strip her of her rank and expel her from the house. It's complicated. The Assembly of Masters consists of just their mouths. The actual Masters rarely leave their towers, and never to meet with their rivals. A conclave, however, is a different story. The Masters themselves are compelled to attend. Don't you see? When they convene the Masters' Conclave, Shelreni must be on hand to contest the charges. So, we know where we can find her and when. At Tel Hulan, the Tower Hall in Old Isra. As a curate, I think I can get us into the Conclave by claiming official Necrom business. House Telvanni prefers to stay on our good side, so they rarely ask too many questions of the Keepers of the Dead.
Curate or not, he'll never get into the Conclave bearing the mark of a Daedric prince. Not without my help. Underestimate Shelreni at your own peril. And do not think to just walk into a Telvanni stronghold reeking of Hermaeus Mora. Either Shelreni's Daedric allies or the Conclave's own protections will spot you the moment you step across the threshold. Of course. Wasn't I the greatest magister of my time? If not for my desire for solitude, I would have been the Archmagister. Unfortunately, my spectral body isn't good for anything these days. You'll need to serve as my hands for this to work. Return to Telrendis. Around my tower, you'll find the components necessary to assemble a passable cloak of omission. Look for dried hoaxwort, a lamia-scale shawl, and an illusion tincture of my own creation. I'll tell you more when we get there. This could prove more difficult than I expected. Curses and corporeal existence! I can see why most ancestors move on instead of haunting their descendants. My mortal memories are much harder to recall than I anticipated. Of course not! I buried the components we need in separate caches on the tower grounds. Use my ghost sight. It will reveal the hiding places. Remember, Telrendis is my place of power, despite Shelreni's attempts to make it her own. Here, I can easily use my magic through you, as long as you're willing. I placed sigils at the spots, but on a different layer of reality. Use my ghost sight, and you should be able to see them. The caches are buried beneath those locations. When you get close to a spot I recognize, I'll tell you to activate my sight. This must be the place. There, see my sigil? I always liked this layer of reality. Dig here. This looks familiar. Activate my ghost sight. Work with this. Head toward my tower, and let's find a workbench to assemble the spell. This old workbench. We can prepare the Cloak of Omission here. Good work. Now place the shawl. Place the components. Almost done. Now sprinkle the tincture. Excellent. Now take the Cloak of Omission. Don't just stand there with... Don't just... Go ahead and try it on. The cloak will mask your presence and hide your connection to the Prince of Fate. You look amazing. Barely a hint of a Daedric connection. I should explain the particulars, though. Not a bad bit of work. You follow directions well. And the cloak looks perfectly dashing. Dashing, I say. Now let's head to Old Isra and meet up with Kirt Gadain. She should have gotten you access to the Conclave by now. Did I? I don't recall. But if you're asking about the Cloak of Omission, it can only shield you from so many scrying attempts. Eventually, someone will notice you. But the enchantment should last long enough for us to get our hands on Shalreni. Now that you mention it, yes. Gadain can get you on the access list, but you must play your part. Dunmer laws are labyrinthine, Telvanni especially. You need to invoke the proper statue to avoid suspicion. Just say the following to the sentry at the door. I hereby invoke the 26th statute of the Necrom Agreement, and then demand entry to the Conclave. Can you remember that? Once we get inside, we can meet up with Kirt Gadain. What could Shalreni be thinking? She's obviously counting on the support of two Daedric princes. But does she really expect them to... Because you're not a Telvanni. That particular statute relates to the agreement between House Telvanni and the Keepers of the Dead. If you present it with authority, the Sentry will and tell them what? If you even imply that any Telvanni would require the help of an outsider, you'd insult them at best or get arrested, if not immediately challenged to a duel of spells. Believe me, any of those would be counterproductive. Do you honestly think my people need a legitimate reason? Well, how about impersonating a Necrom official? Or infiltrating a meeting of the Master's Conclave? Not to mention acting in the service of a Daedric prince? We can't risk it.
Watching you harvest is exciting. I can't wait to see what you're going to do with that.
You there! You look like a capable forager. I need some help. Can we talk?
Despite Azura's curse,
Tel Hulin, the Tower of Halls, home to the Assembly of Masters. Remember to invoke the statute when you demand entry, and put on a cloak.
No, Vabdru. As Master Shalreni's mouth, you are prohibited from entering the Conclave.
But I must warn the Masters.
Don't worry. Your treacherous master will be dealt with soon enough.
You must warn the other Masters. I can no longer stand by and do nothing while Master Shalreni continues along. You probably shouldn't, but that doesn't mean I'm lying. I admired Shalreni for her skill and power. Master Shalreni made a deal with not one, but two Daedric princes. She plans to use their help to eliminate all who oppose her so she can become Archmagister. The Masters won't listen to me. They don't understand the danger. I'm not sure. Master Shalreni stopped confiding in me. But I know how she thinks. She has no respect for the Masters or this Conclave. When they move to reprimand her, she's going to show them just how powerful she's become. It will be a bloodbath.
The Master's Conclave is in session. All other business is on hold. Necrom, Let me see. Ah, yes. You're listed as Curate Godane's attending clerk. Very good. You may go inside. I expect you'll find the curate in the Assembly antechamber, as the attending Magister declared the Conclave for Masters only.
There's Curate Godane.
Really, I must...
I insist, Curate. You do realize I wield considerable influence as Master Norvora's mouth.
Of course, but...
I could do much for you and the Keepers. Now tell me, what do you think of my book?
That's Master Norvora's mouth. We need to extract Godane this instant.
The Curate and I are busy, Outsider. I am eager to hear what he thinks of my book, Ancestors of a Humble Mouth. It's a work in progress. How strange. As no one but Masters are allowed inside, Master Norvora explicitly told me to wait out here until after the Conclave concluded its business. Well, obviously Master Norvora needs her spellbook. No Master should ever meet her peers without being totally prepared. I'll go and fetch it at once.
Thank you, my friend. Follow me. I know a place where we can talk privately.
Have a drink and relax. I expect the Masters to remain locked in discussion for some time.
Master Morena seemed exhausted. Is she well?
The healers recommended she stay in bed.
We can
she
speak
insisted
freely
we
here.
attend the conclave.
You arrived not a moment too soon, my friend. Before they decided to seal the hall, and I was trapped in that dreadful conversation with Mouth Elar, I found what we needed. Master Shalreni is here, and being held under guard until the conclave begins. And now we come to the problem. Magister Gothran arrived from Sadrith Mora to oversee the Master's conclave. He immediately expelled all but the Telvanni Masters and placed a ward on the door. There's no way to get into the assembly hall. Sadly, disabling a ward placed by a Magister is beyond my capabilities. If you have any ideas, please, share them. Otherwise, I fear the Masters are on their own in there.
A Magister? To counter Magister magic, eh? Good idea. Let's go disable the ward. A ward needs anchors. Use my ghost sight to spot them. One on either side of the door. I'll lend you my power to disable them. Magister Guthrin is good, but I'm better. Let's enter the assembly hall.
This is a closed session. What is the meaning of this intrusion?
Now, Guthrin, surely such restrictions don't apply to a Magister and his proxy.
Down the mouth, a spirit. No matter. I will not tolerate your antics.
Nothing in our statutes precludes a dead Magister from participating in a conclave. Now, hear what my proxy has to say.
Very well. Step forward. I recognize you from that incident with the ambitious lizard. And now you stand before me, representing one of my most annoying colleagues. Well, get on with it. What's so important that Magister Meln dares interrupt these closed proceedings? And Magister Meln thought us so ineffective that he had to swoop in and save the day? How presumptuous of him. Do you really think one rogue master is a match for this assembly? So I heard. Hence the reason I decided to leave my comfortable tower and come all this way to personally take charge of this conclave. The masters will hear the charges, question the subject, and render swift judgment. Is that why you're here? To add another charge to Shelreni's list of crimes? Then so noted. Perhaps that's why she turned herself over without any fuss or bother, so that she can plead for mercy. Perhaps I'll be lenient. Perhaps not. Enough of this nonsense. I listened to the concerns of your Magister and heard his allegation. Now we are finished. Meln may stay if he wishes. That is his right. But you and the curate should go and leave us to our work.
Psst, over here. I forgot how boring my so-called peers can be. Pity Shelreni didn't eliminate a few more of my rivals before we noticed. But your master, Meln. I have fond memories of his many antics. That's why I wanted a word with you. Your master has delayed these proceedings long enough. Master Shelreni reached above her station and must be dealt with. Anything that postpones that and increases the time I must spend in the company of my so-called peers will not be tolerated. Murder, you say? That is serious. I suppose anything can be expected from a master who makes pacts with Daedra. We really need to strip her of her rank and exile her. Well, if you must see her, she's being held in a meeting room down the East Hall.
I don't understand this necessity for debate. If it were up to me, we'd get right to the vote. Nothing anyone has to say will change my mind about Shelreni. Now then, is Magister Meln really dead? Meln may have confused Magister Guthrin, but there's no provision for a dead Telvanni participating in a conclave. It's just not done. Is that a threat? Master Morena led Shelreni through the East Door for making similar pronouncements only a few moments ago. If that can happen to a master, imagine what's in store for a lowly mouth like you.
I wouldn't suggest disobeying the order of Magister Guthrin. I've seen him turn a retainer into a mud crab for a lesser infraction.
If you're intent on flouting Magister Guthrin's authority, then I suggest you speak to Masters Foves and Norvora. Neither of them could keep a confidence if their lives depended upon it. But if anyone asks, you heard nothing from me.
There's a meeting room just to the right. This must be where they're holding her.
Shalreni's gone, but what's that tipped-over bottle over there? That's pure essence of dream. Let me cast a spell to see what happened here.
What was that? Just a little gift from the Prince of Dreams. Soon, you will do exactly as I say.
You won't get away with this.
I already have. And with your help, I'll get away with so much more. Now let's go attend the conclave. My ascension requires participants, willing or otherwise.
We must get to the conclave. It's held in the Master's private hall to the north.
Something's going on to the north. I think the conclave is starting.
Master Shalreni, you stand accused of conspiring against your fellow Telvanni, murdering Meln the Mouthless, and consorting with Daedric princes. How do you plead?
A Telvanni doesn't plead. But I will kill you all before I take my sacrifice and depart.
Help me, Magister!
Shalreni, cease your actions this instant.
Use my ghost sight to disable the wards and get down there.
Finally awake. Thank the ancestors. I thought Shalreni killed you.
We should talk, Mouth of Meln. The Mouth of the Mouthless. I suppose you want me to say that you and Meln were right. That I should have taken Shalreni's threat more seriously. Well, let's pretend I said that and move on to what needs to happen next. Yes, quite a display. She used the conclave to formally announce her intentions. Her spell would have killed everyone, and positioned her to challenge the Archmagister for rulership of the house. Luckily, I was on hand to save the local masters. Shalreni may be a powerful master, but I am a Magister of the Telvanni Council. It was a simple matter to deflect her attack while the conclave dispersed. Then, I stabilized the portal she fled through, assuming you would want to follow her. Really now? Who do you think Meln consulted when he first invented his Cloak of Omission? I see the mark of Mora upon you. House Telvanni wants no part in the machinations of Daedric princes. Just make sure to kill Shalreni when you find her. Master Morena revealed her inadequacies when she allowed herself to be captured. The other masters survived. In both cases, House Telvanni won. If you plan to chase Shalreni, I suggest you leave now. I'm not... In all honesty, no. In case you haven't noticed, we of House Telvanni are a superior lot. Sentiment and mercy.
This ancient ruin. Those markings.
This place.
This place is dead.
I think we visited the memory of it in the Eye of Mora.
Try to keep moving.
This chamber appears promising. We should look around.
My favorite.
Anything relevant in those papers? Was there anything in those papers about Master Shelreni or where we might... She writes about how Torvasard came to her, indoctrinated her into Vermine. So they sent the malachite mined from the Alavelis quarry here. And she discusses how the hidden kindred were formed to provide the workers needed to accomplish the restoration. This must be where that original memory took place. Where Vermina and Periite think...
We must find Shelreni and stop her from completing this rite.
There's Shelreni and Master Morena. We need to free her.
My black book! Looks like Shelreni got past my safeguards.
All we need now is for Shelreni to finish the rite and perform the sacrifice.
An aspect of Shelreni is using the restored statue as a focus for her rite.
It's a fate. Help me restore what was taken from us all. No!
I want more! Who else
Now,
can
Brent,
we smack
free
around?
Morena from the binding.
This magic is unstable. Save yourselves. No! Not when we're so close.
Close my black book and take it. That should end the rite.
Taking the Black Book won't stop us, and one of you will serve just as well as a sacrifice.
No need to involve outsiders, Shelreni. Prince Vermina accepts your sacrifice and deems you a worthy vassal.
I regret the bloodshed, but soon Mor's injustice will be undone.
With this vessel, I can enter Apocrypha and strike at Mora's heart. With me, my faithful!
We have to warn Apocrypha. Let's return to the Necron bindery and find Laramek.
Hold still, and I'll open a portal back to Necron.
Neither Scroot nor I can feel Hermaeus Mora's presence. We both find this unsettling. Good, you are here. Both Scroot and I felt a sudden disturbance in the tides of fate. Another significant event in the annals of fate, and I missed it. But Master Shelreni is dead, and Vermina did... So that was Shelreni's plan. Use whatever power the princess provided to eliminate her rivals, and Blightcrown decided to complete the rite anyway by sacrificing Shelreni instead. Ruthless, but in keeping with a follower of Periite. And they cannot. Not usually. Hence all the trouble that Torvasard and his allies went through to reach this point. At least, both Scroot and I felt the tides of fate churn and boil. Worse, neither of us has been able to commune with Hermaeus Mora since the Black Book's rite was completed at Vermina's shrine, giving Vermina access to Apocrypha and a host to work through. They must know where to find the memory they seek, or they have a good idea where to look. Apocrypha is infinite. Blightcrown and Torvasard have ways to avoid detection. Only one viable option presents itself. We must ask Master Shelreni where Vermina has taken her body. Fortunately, we have two conduits to spirits not yet bound for Aetherius at our disposal. Magister Meln and Curate Gadain. Speak to Meln. Aetherius is the immortal plane. When a person dies, their spirit moves on to that realm unless something prevents that from happening. A violent death, perhaps, or because the spirit still has tasks left undone. Shelreni fits both categories. What Hermaeus Mora foresaw was always about an assault on Apocrypha. Vermina and her allies want to recover the memory that was stolen from them. You know how you can feel the warmth and know the sun is above you, even if you never look up. That is what Scroot experiences every day in the service of her master, and what I sense when I commune. Perhaps We know Blightcrown used a corrupting combination of pestilence and dream to avoid detection in the Panopticon, and he was trying to increase its potency. Maybe the Rite did more than open a path. Maybe it cut Mora off from his own realm.
Laramil's idea is a good one. Master Shelreni has the answer we seek, and I know how to reach her. No Telvanni master worth their weight in Quama cattle would relinquish their hold on this plane without a fight. I have no doubt we can contact Master Shelreni's spirit. Whether we can get her to cooperate, well, that's an entirely different matter. As the curate can tell you, Necrom forbids summoning the dead. But there's no regulation against the dead choosing to speak to you. We don't have to summon Shelreni's spirit. We can go to her and simply request an audience. Same place you found me. In her tower, of course. We must go to Tel Barrow and search her sanctum. If her spirit lingers, she'll haunt there. Though, I'm better take Gadain with us. If she's become a vengeful spirit, his expertise might be required.
Meln, we can't just summon the dead whenever we please. It's forbidden.
Yes. Summoning is an affront to your order. But if the spirit is already there...
If I help you, I could jeopardize my standing.
We would not ask this of you if the situation was not dire.
Of course I'll help, Laramil.
I'll return to Apocrypha. See if I can find Vermina while you chase spirits. Not like I've got anything better to do.
Good luck at Tel Barrow, my friends. Return here with whatever you learn.
Dealing with displaced spirits is very much frowned upon by the Keepers of the Dead. I'll help, because the stakes, that's an aspect of our beliefs, but not the primary component. And it's different when you visit the catacombs and a spirit appears before you. I suppose if Shelreni decides to speak to us, that shouldn't violate the Codex too badly. Indeed, the recently departed are often confused, and that confusion can turn violent. I much prefer to deal with the spirits of our ancient ancestors. They may be cantankerous, but they've had enough time to reconcile to their undead existence.
I've got what you need. Step up, have
You going to enchant something with that? Can I watch?
Where's the Keeper? He should have been here by now.
The tower's locked tight. We need another way inside.
Telvanni towers always have more than a single ingress and egress. Look around.
Laramil's amulet can protect us both.
Over there. Just let me... There. Easy enough for a Magister to remove a Master's ward. Let's go inside. Shelreni's private study. Her presence is strong here. My ghost sight allows you to see it. Move closer, and I'll try to get it to manifest fully.
Careful, my friend.
Light Crown! He killed me. I'll destroy them all!
Such rage and suffering. Let me try to calm her.
Have you come to gloat? To see how far the mighty Shelreni has fallen? I would have led House Telvanni to new heights. I would have led House Telvanni to new heights. Instead, I lost everything. All my work unfinished. My legacy in... Now why in the name of my despicable ancestors would I even consider such a notion? You're my enemy. I'm content to sit back and watch as them... You know nothing of the Telvanni outsider, or of me. But I will admit that I hate it when a greater power reneges on a mutually advantageous agreement. Frankly, my role in all this was more difficult than what I requested of the princes. I decrypted Meln's Black Book, perfected Blight Crown's subterfuge concoction, and performed the rite that gave Vermina access to Apocrypha. And all for a simple favor. Eliminate my competition, and elevate me to the rank of Archmagister. I see what you did there. Clever. I suppose I've been taken off the board. A bit of revenge on my part is probably called for. The path to the memory Vermina seeks lies through the infinite panopticon. Torvasad will lead her there. It started with Torvasad and his dream of something lost long ago. He needed someone to acquire Meln's Black Book and perform the rite. In return, he would help me achieve my dream of becoming Archmagister, as long as I pledged myself to Vermina. Torvasad behaves like a broker, bringing disparate parties together for mutual benefit. In truth, I now believe this is all about Torvasad. He has his own agenda. Anyway, He convinced the princes to set aside their differences and work together. Truth be told, I never much cared. All I wanted was to do what was asked of me and get my reward. Instead, I got a dagger in the back. It involves Torvasad's dream. He had vague visions of a Vermina shrine, believed it was important. So he asked Vermina to help him recall the... Look, maybe Mora stole Torvasad's favorite sweet roll recipe. I wouldn't put it past the Prince of Fate. He collects knowledge like House Lalu hoards gold. All I know is Vermina and Pereide want them silent, you say? Then my enhanced subterfuge concoction worked. I took Blightcrown's mix of disease and dream, and with a few adjustments to the right, enhanced its ability to hide them 1,000-fold. If Mora has gone silent, it means it affected him too. Cut him off from his own realm. Am I a genius or what? Oh, fear not. You can't separate a Daedric prince from their realm for very long. Should last just long enough for Vermina to get whatever she's after. Of course, who can say what will happen when a realm and its prince are sundered even briefly?
I can't absolve you of your transgression, Spirit, but I can grant you peace.
Eternal disappointment, more likely.
Let's return to Necrom and tell Laramil what we learned.
Calm yourself, Scroot. I am sure Apocrypha is not as bad as you say. Ah, Proxy. Scroot returned from Apocrypha with disheartening news. While my efforts at research have been marginally effective at best. Tell me you have the infinite Panopticon. First, they sought a memory to alter. Now they seek what? What research I was able to accomplish tells me that Vermina will be a formidable opponent. But in order to enter Apocrypha without Mora's consent, she requires an anchor. Shelreni's body is mortal. If we destroy it, I do not believe that even Blightcrown's concoction will hide Vermina from the one who knows. Of course, Idane, this will be dangerous. I would feel better if you remain here, out of harm's way.
I swore to retrieve the relic, and I can't stand the thought of you facing this danger without me. All of you, really.
Vomitus.
feared. The entrance to the Infinite Panopticon has moved.
As is its nature. Which means we have failed and reality is doomed.
I refuse this outcome. Fate, bend to my will.
Laramel, be careful.
There is no time. The Panopticon must exist. Here, I command you.
Laramel, you did it! The Panopticon is open!
Oh no. Vermina. Her presence is destroying the Panopticon.
Laramel, look at yourself. You're in no shape to continue.
Nonsense. No.
Wasn't that amazing? You can't face Vermina alone. I don't believe I'm saying this, but ripples of agony from below. We need to go down, mortal.
This is more than just the presence of a rival Daedric prince. Something else is happening here. Remember, Vermina's not alone. Lightcrown and Torvasad are with her. Hidden kindred. Looks like Vermina brought an army.
Let Apocrypha smite your soul. Portal. Vermina passed through it, mortal. I am a vessel of the Great Eye. Call on me. Don't ask me. This place feels ancient. Like no one's been here in an eternity.
Light and concoction work splendidly. We are hidden, and Mora suffers. Tovasard, take the Dream Prince into the Eye of Mora, and find your memory. I have a final gift to deliver, to the very core of Apocrypha.
Blightcrown! Did he say something about an Eye of Mora?
Ignore Blightcrown. We need to reach Vermina and destroy Shalreni's body.
I see the Eye of Mora above us. That's where we need to go, mortal. Let Apocrypha smite your foe. Between Vermina's presence and there, mortal. Hurry! Those cultists are in our way. Dispatch them, mortal. Mortal, let me aid you. Let Apocrypha smite your foes. The great eye. Call on me. Mortal, we need to talk.
Oh, I was just getting started.
Blightcrown's a threat, but Vermina's a prince. We should follow Vermina and Torvasard into the Eye of Mora. I have no clue which memory of Hermaeus Mora this particular eye contains, but we should go in and do what we came here to do. Find Vermina and destroy Master Shell. Right, I don't hear the Great Eye. I think that has something to do with Vermina's presence. Blightcrown's corruption. Now, mortal, step into the Eye of Mora. What happened to this memory? It looks more like a dream. Or a nightmare.
Another Daedric Prince memory? You take me to the nicest places.
This has to be Vermina's fault. Stupid Prince of Dreams.
This memory is mine now, mortal. I have wrapped it in a dream of my own creation.
We need to discuss this, mortal. Listen carefully, mortal. Listen carefully, mortal. Vermina's power is limited here. This isn't her realm. It's only due to the necromancy they used on Shelreni's body that she made. Vermina hasn't been in here very long. She didn't have time to craft a perfect dreamscape to hide within. Look for flaws in the illusion. We're inside one of the Great Eye's secret memories. That's just an echo of him, part of the memory. Like I said, Vermina's good idea. If you can find the weak points, I can break them open and expose the truth.
Once again, Melon to the rescue. When you get close to a flaw, use my ghost sight to spot it.
In 3 glyphics. I'm gonna show the memory of what Hermaeus Mora is the secret the enemy seeks.
The way it began, secured inside the glyphic of hidden paths. Locked within the glyphic of lost memories. And with regret, sealed inside the glyphic of shattered reflection. Dares invade my private memories.
We got what we came here for, Torvasad. This way!
How dare Vermina enter my realm? Fighter, protect the three glyphics. Go and enter the mythos.
This is the mythos deep beneath the Icor Sea. Another memory, or all of the same? I am a vessel of the Great Eye. Call on me! This is the core of Apocrypha. Remember how Torvasard altered a memory and changed the past? The damage they can cause here is enormous.
Dreamweaver flee. But what of the Glyphic vault? Pay for the damage she has wrought on my realm. And hear my words. I shook off the worst effects of Vermina's corrupting presence, but not soon enough. The intruders have fled. But the vault of the Glyphic! You must determine if the secret remains secure. Not just any Glyphic. One of 3 primordial Glyphics that in total contain the entirety of the memory I made everyone forget. A memory that which I cannot see. The corruption coursing through Apocrypha continues to weaken me. I must do everything I can to maintain a connection to my realm. Enter and examine the Glyphic. I give you permission to gaze upon this portion of the memory. It cannot be avoided. Fate's chosen must make sure the Glyphic is secure and the memory intact. Examine the Glyphic of Hidden Paths. It will reveal its portion of the secret to you. Regrettably, there is no other way to determine if the Glyphic remains intact. But fate will survive a slight fraying of its fabric. It has to. Now, go! Examine the Glyphic and see how this all began.
Why have you called us all together, Prince of Fate?
We must deal with this problem, Dreamweaver. I have seen what happens if we do nothing. Already the threads of fate unravel. They have no regard for the chaos they can cause. Ah, that's it! What I needed to spark my memory. I will restore the rest. Lord of Secrets, I will restore it all! Torvasard. If one of the unseen could evade my sight here. Chosen, we must speak. My power remains diminished due to the toxins Periite's followers polluted Apocrypha with. But you helped me break free of the worst of the miasma. You saw the contents of the Glyphic of Hidden Paths, as did Torvasard. I did not expect that. Not yet. One thread in the tapestry snapped, but 2 more remain. If you can keep my enemies from unsealing the final 2 Glyphics, there is still a chance to preserve Apocrypha and the rest of reality. You saw how this began. The Great Omission. Just something from very long ago. Something I did not expect to encounter ever again. It is not important. Not yet. Right now, fate requires a champion, mortal. Do as you have done. Follow your heart. Return to Laramil. Consult with her. Defeat those who oppose us. You will know the best course of action when fate requires it. Now, I must conserve my strength. Apocrypha is under attack, and I feel its pain. Leave this memory, mortal. Take the portal, and return to your allies in Scyther's Midden.
I have recovered, Proxy. Now tell me, what occurred after we parted ways in the Infinite Panopticon? Part of the memory has been remembered, but reality has not unraveled, so we must still have time to make this right. Vermina and her allies continue to assault Apocrypha, but freeing Hermaeus Mora was a victory. Well done. This is for you, Proxy. Secret and forbidden knowledge. Something so terrible that Hermaeus Mora wiped the very memory of it from all existence. But now Tolvasard has plucked a thin sliver from the darkness, urging us to remember. Though it pains me, we cannot allow that. You did. I am unsure how I feel about that. I want to ask you 1,000 questions, but the corruption plaguing Apocrypha grows worse with every passing moment, and Vermina still roams free. I am torn as what to do. An opportunity, perhaps. It shall take Vermina time to locate the remaining glyphics. That gives us a chance to end the corruption and restore Hermaeus Mora's power. Are you willing to hunt down Blightcrown while I try to locate Vermina? What started in the Panopticon has spread beyond into other parts of Apocrypha. Gadain and I have seen its effects here among the stacks. While you investigate the corruption in Cypher's Midden, I shall try to determine where to find Vermina. We know it is a vile combination of dream and disease, developed by Blightcrown from concepts provided by Vermina and Periite. Master Shelrenny helped to perfect it, and her rite increased its strength. It hides Vermina and weakens Hermaeus Mora. As we have seen, it drives the inhabitants of Apocrypha mad, and turns even allied Daedra violent. Scroot could sense the agony of the realm back on Nairn. Here, I fear she may eventually succumb as the other natives have. Even I am not immune. No, despite your status as Fate's proxy, you seem resistant. Now, explore Cypher's Midden, and try to track down Blightcrown, or determine how the affliction spreads. I shall attempt to locate Vermina. Remember, they used sensors in the Panopticon.
I'll go with you. It's not like I have anywhere else to be.
Will I ever be able to read all these books?
They look rickety, but the walkways are stable.
Why has the realm turned against us?
Apocrypha feels in pain, and I feel it too.
I don't sense the Great Eye's gaze. Has Hermaeus Mora abandoned us?